Disney Lorcana Set 9 Fabled and post-rotation is only about 3 weeks away, and people are scrambling to test and make decks. So I thought I'd share some of my deck lists that I've been tinkering with recently, and maybe help some of you figure out what you might like to play when Fabled launches later this month. But before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to please like this video and subscribe to the Sorcerer's Hat for more Disney Lorcana content. I post brand new videos every single Friday. Alright, let's see some deck lists. First up, a disclaimer. 3 of these deck lists are mine that I built from scratch with the help of some locals who I bounced ideas off of, and one of these lists is basically what I and many others think will probably be one of the best decks in the format. I found someone else's list for this and tweaked a lot of the ratios, but everyone's lists for this specific deck are pretty similar, so I'm not going to take credit for that one or anything, but I will show you the version that I will be testing. First up, let's talk about my baby Shifty Pirates. It's back in post-rotation and actually still working quite well. We've made a lot of changes since we're losing some of our draw engine and almost all of our damage songs, which actually in a way works to our benefit since this deck could get just destroyed by other steel decks that got more of their removal before you did, and that never felt great. So instead of a lot of those damage songs, we now have characters like Dump Truck, who is also a pirate and can deal damage, and we have Fire the Cannons, so that we can activate Captain Hook's ability and trade a lot better than our opponent can when the time comes. Most of the deck actually remains the same, but there are some things that have changed. We now use Pete Pirate Scoundrel because he's a pirate, but he also acts as an additional shift target for Pete Space Pirate. Since it's looking like Beast Tragic Hero isn't being reprinted, we've swapped to Namari, who is also really good, but requires a little more hand management since you need to have something you're willing to discard whenever you draw from her ability. Our main draw power has also switched to Doc, since it looks like every single steel deck in the format is probably going to be running him, and also it's just a really great card. We're also running Lewis, so that we can take care of pesky cards like Genie that are hard for us to interact with, as well as stop our opponent's important characters from questing altogether, and honestly, probably just banishing themselves into Lewis. So, really good card. And since evasives are looking to be incredibly powerful next set, we're running Tinkerbell Most Helpful in order to give our Petes and Captain Hooks the ability to fight evasive characters. She also acts as a shift target for Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, just to sort of threaten that shift line. The small amount of testing I've done with this new version has gone pretty well, and I think this deck will be decent in the next meta, but there's a chance that it gets changed again at some point down the road. But if you want to take something week 1 that people probably will not expect, and you just want to have some fun with, well, by all means, Shifty Pirates. Next, we've got the deck to beat next set, and that's Blurle. Blurle kind of has everything going for it. We have a lot of evasive characters. We have card draw, removal, rush, basically everything you need to control your opponent's board. Some new additions to the deck are 1-drop characters like Palace Guard and Diablo. We've dropped Tamatoa and Belle Apprentice Inventor because it's looking like Popsicle isn't coming back anytime soon, and there just aren't really any 1-drop items worth running in this deck, so we're just not going to do it. Another new addition to the deck is Vision of the Future, which will allow us to try and find the exact game pieces we need at a moment's notice, and Rafiki just adds a nice rush character that can quest for 2 if he manages to survive. We have cards like Into the Unknown for removal, we have the Anna Elsa package, and of course, Genie. The one thing I'm probably going to change is the library. All signs are pointing to Dumbo being a really busted card next set, so when I go to test this deck, I will be swapping all copies of the library for Dumbo instead. Overall, I'm happy with how clean this list looks, and I'm expecting it to be very powerful next set, and probably played a lot. Next up is a version of a kind of mid-rangey aggro Amber Steel build that I've been tinkering with. The good news with this deck is that a lot of really good character cards are still in the format, but the problem is that we've lost a lot of really powerful cards, so this deck has had to adapt a bit. The list is kind of like a mix between aggro and mid-range, which is similar to a list I ran during Set Champs a few weeks ago and actually won, so that was nice. The main things we've lost are the damage songs, but thankfully we still have Strength of a Raging Fire. We're also losing Rapunzel, arguably one of the most powerful cards in the game, but now we have Rapunzel at home. This is Julieta Madrigal. She's basically a less powerful version of Rapunzel, so of course we're running 4 copies of her. For card draw, we're also running Namaari and Doc because it's a steel deck and that's kind of just the pattern for steel right now. For our songs, we're running Be Our Guest to help us find characters, and 4 copies of Trials and Tribulations to help our characters like Rhino make really good trades without taking damage and ruining his resistibility. The other new combo that we might be seeing a lot of this set is Tiana and Pluto. Basically, you play Tiana, and then on turn 4, you play Pluto in bodyguard mode, and you quest with everyone, and it makes it really difficult to get through the wall unless you have removal or just a lot of extra ink to spare for Tiana's effect. I've done a little bit of testing with this deck, and this combo feels really good when your opponent can't really answer it. You kind of just create this wall that they have to pay to get through. The last card that might seem like a strange include is Darling Deer, and she's basically in here to make our 2 questers even more dangerous and to give us just some more gas while we're able to quest. Overall, I think this list could change a lot over the set, but for now, I feel like this will be pretty good for the first few weeks. I'm definitely going to give it a spin. The last list I have to show you is the Combat Matters Ruby Steel deck I call You Fight Good. This deck is pretty easy to use because all you need to do is fight with your characters when you have cards like Shere Khan on the board and just profit. To combat things like evasives, we have Maui Shark and removal like Strength of a Raging Fire, though I think evasives will be sort of a weak spot for this deck. For card draw, of course, we're using Namaari and Doc, but we also have Queen of Hearts and Medallion Weights. So we should have a lot of options to get more cards. We also have Li Shang, who can help us take out ready characters, and on top of that we use a card called Break Free, which can help give characters like Shark, Rush, and also gain Allure just for playing it. We can also use it on cards like Li Shang to give him Rush and activate his ability, which gives him 2 strength when damaged. That means on turn 4 you could play him and Break Free, giving him a total of 5 strength and immediately challenge a ready character. This is a list I could see changing a whole lot as the set goes on, and we'll actually see if it sticks around, but it should be a really fun deck to try out in the first few weeks. And that's all the decks I have to show you today. Let me know in the comments what you're planning to try out when post-rotation hits in a few weeks, and as always, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe to the Sorcerer's Hat for more Lorcana videos. I post a brand new one every single Friday. I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye. Love you.